Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda here of Psych Defender of the Fatherland, off here to a 1 versus 1 on Lost Glider, where the glider is truly lost. In the northeast, Shogun fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin, rolling out here with the 3rd Guards Tank Corps versus in the south, it's Stark, fighting for the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland, with the 1st Panzerdivision. So we're off here to the races with the Kubelwagen out here for Stark, an interesting choice versus the Soviets, since they do tend to go for Special 5 commands, meaning scout cars out, and they tend to hard counter the Kubelwagen very hard. So it's an interesting and bold move there by Stark to go for the Kubelwagen under these circumstances. Fulton is following out there for Stark. Sturmpani is rushing towards the centre that sort of disrupts his opponent there, maybe even go straight for the car point, ignoring the victory point. Penal was following up here for Shogun Cho. Moving eastwards for the fuel here. Westwards the Kubelwagen securing territory here slowly, or rapidly acting for the fatherland, since A can move fast between points, but of course it also takes points faster, so overall a Kubelwagen can do the job of an infantry squad notably faster. More Fulton goes out there for Stark. Looks like it's going to move straight for the fuel plant here, go for the jugular. Fulton is heading eastward, so a very spread out, aggressive approach here by Stark. Admittedly, so Shogun Chun, which is versus the Oberkommando West, can be a bit more risky, since well placed Sturmpani attack can then leave you a bit hanging about there. So, a bit in some ways risky here, and usually versus the Oberkommando West, you want to be a bit more concentrated focus, so you can quickly focus down the initial Sturmpani squad, which might again just go straight for the most important points. Stark following up the Shogun Chun, of course, have to see how Stark handles this. We will have to see how he handles this. Western victory point there secured, so far making good progress with that Kubelwagen. Sturmpionier versus the Strafnicki here. Fulton is moving up here for Stark to back up the Sturmpanies with the Penal Troopers. In this regard, the Penal Troopers do have the upper hand over the Sturmpanies at most ranges. Fulton does help a bit, but obviously in there the Penal Troopers can sort of one-on-one win that one as well. But there you go, Scout going to for the Kubelwagen. Stark's going to have to somehow try and get the Kubelwagen out there, and it's going to be really difficult. And meanwhile, though, Stark is pouring more and more infantry into the eastern side. In some cases, it could be argued maybe the Kubelwagen's actually bait here, allowing him to put more pressure on his opponent. More importantly, it's alternating fuel. Kubelwagen here is making a rush for it, backing for everything. Needs to quickly turn around the corner, somehow draw into the flanking placements. Doesn't work out. They're abandoned, but still not quite close, fast enough here for Stark. Certainly highlighting why the Kubelwagen is such a rare choice for most Oberkommandos players versus the Soviets. That, of course, and even like your opponent doesn't go for the scout car, it scales terribly with veterancy. Partly because it takes ages to get anywhere with it with veterancy. So it's a bit of a sticky spot there for Stark. Moving in troops here, but of course now there's a scout car guarding it, at which point the table has a bit turned here on Stark in the hands of Shogun Cho. Moving in troops here to deal with the troops moving in for the centre. Folks are coming in for the fuel point in the east, not least securing that one here. Still, interesting opening here by Stark versus Shogun Cho. So far somewhat successfully, and it has resulted in the total loss of a Kubelwagen. Skirmishing on right point here, folks are engaged with the Penal Troopers trot on the way. No counters it for Kedner for to deal with the Infantry one. Makes sense, certainly, since the Oberkommando West very much lacks any sort of early vehicle light counters, so they tend to be very vulnerable to it if that forces them into like an effort. Which of course is one reason why they tend to go for it, because like Kedner then of course obviously is terrible versus the Penal Troopers. Right here though, Shogun Cho is about to blow it here, very close to getting wiped here by Stark in the west, folks, because then Genesis Scout coming in from the north. No flamethrowers yet here, like Kedner almost done, plus a track there for Stark. Could be Battle Group Headquarters, could be Mechanized, we'll have to see what it ends up with. We'll have to see what it ends up with. Mines on the road. Kedner being hauled forwards. Carve one hit by the Penal Troopers. Nice work. Of course, nice got the eastern fuel. Also a good spot there to mine. Overall, I would say nice flexible play here by Stark against Shogun Cho. Definitely some nice play there. Most players used to try and grind it out, but generally you want to be more fast and mobile with the Oberkommando West. Stark here trying to back out fast with overdrive. Good response. He's going to fall back here. Might get away to his opponent that there's possibly a mine here, but then again he might take the bait. Might. In this case, there doesn't. But he could have. He could have taken the bait. And we got here the mechanized regular for Stark. So it's going to be looks as possibly a Puma. We've also got Overwatch here, opening up for Jaegers, Goliaths, for the Fatherland, Artillery, and of course a Sector Assault. We'll have to see how far it goes on that one. Brandhand Granada off against the Strafniki. Fun fact, the Brandhand Granada intended grenade here, I think, was actually really rare. Basically can't find most mentions of it anywhere, like except like German sites. So I think it's not exactly a common weapon, because here's the thing. The Molotov wasn't exactly as unique as it was, in a sense. I mean, the Germans industrially made their own. They called them Brandflasche. Sort of wearing a dark green bottle, almost a beer bottle. At least, you know, here in Denmark, that'd be a roughly beer bottle, I think. And they would then sort of have some sort of detonator or storm match could be lit. But, you know, basically they industrially made Molotovs. But obviously, it's going to feel weird to a lot of people because, you know, sort of in terms of, you know, colloquial understanding, you know, the Germans didn't use Molotovs. But they actually did. And again, they mass-produced them. It's sort of a fun fact there. It doesn't necessarily get a lot of attention to talk about. Almost got the scout car here, but Shogun M31 is able to escape here. Oh, is it? Is it? Oh, so close. Jaeger Light Infantry Recon Squad out of there for start. That's a bloody hell of a name. Troops reinforcing. Academy for covering the center here with its 88mm rockets. Scout car being fixed up here by Shogun Cho. Troops here healing and reinforcing. Jaeger setting out. Slowly but surely as well. First guard squad here for Shogun Cho. Likely not the last. Mines being swept there by Shogun Cho and replaced with his own mines. A cheeky way of doing it, by the way, since most players don't expect you to mine the spots you mine. So in this case, there's a bit of mind games here by Shogun Cho, which is, I think, worth pointing out. Since a part, I would say, of some good companies players actually exploiting, you know, blind spots in your opponent's play. And one of those is basically they don't expect you to mine the exact same spot you just mined. Another one is, even if you set up a mine there, and say a mine goes off there, they don't actually expect you to mine it again. Those are two, shall we say, particular types of blind spots you can exploit. I would say that happen reasonably frequent. Looks on the way there for Stark. But yeah, more guards went out there, pretty much standard stuff. Mining the calf point. Stark, of course, is having none of that and launches a major assault he can use. Almost finished the mine, which would be a bit of wasted against Stark since he's obviously seeing it, but could also cost him the engineers, and even then he might still end up losing them. Bit slow down retreat. Fighting in the west here, scout car takes out like Kid never takes out the scout car, not the other way around. Damn it, Dane. Damn it. Looks halfway down there for Stark and the German army. Reinhard over against the Strafniki. Quickly popping into the house and denying it, using the Jaeger's sprint ability. Very nice work there. Most players tend actually not to use that sprint ability, but Stark here displaying a bit of higher ranked skill there and actually uses the ability. In fact, it tends to be one of the ways I tend to sort of notice if a player is good or, you know, average. I just tend to look how often do they actually use their abilities, because an average player tend to be a lot less keen on using their abilities, and then they're sort of more like they feel like they're forced to it, like a stubborn child who doesn't, you know, want to eat something. Well, of course, sometimes, you know, it does taste like crap, but, you know, that's another story. Anyways, kind of like that, you know. Whereas again, I tend to find the more skilled players tend to be a lot more enthusiastic and, you know, consistent in using even just small abilities like sprint. It's actually a little neat trick there, and also something to work on. We're not telling you just to spam abilities, you know, willy-nilly, but, you know, try and work on using your abilities more and more and, you know, use them better. It's a little fun fact there. Penal troops moving eastwards. Back here, troops still reinforcing for Stark. Lots of flares exploding. Regular fireworks. The Kenner they're spotted. I mean, if he's not going to expect any vehicles, of course he can just use his grab territory, since again it can easily hit the retreat button there, so it has some safety features there for Stark that allows him just to use it to harass. So in that regard, nice again, I'd say higher skill play there by Stark. Luke's going here for the penal troops tank through them with the 2cm auto cannon. Fun fact, there was actually a similar reconnaissance tank based on the Czechoslovakian Panzer 38T, and they're actually building roughly the same numbers. So, little fun note there. the Panzer 38T itself, by the way, despite being a Czechoslovakian tank, was actually based on a really good chassis with a good engine, and saw a lot of service in different things to the German army, as the main tank didn't work out because the gun was too small. You had stuff like the Marder series, you had the Grille, and you had the Gepard flak panzer, which doesn't see a lot of usage in games, and you also, of course, had the Hetzer. Plus, I'm sure many other things. They even tried to make a armoured half-track, armoured personnel carrier off the chassis. Though that one never really came in time. Fortunately, hitting a mine, getting hit by the Guardsman. Bit of bad momentum there for Stark. Could see what. That's going to be great here for Shogun. Sure, that'd be very great. Didn't quite land it though. Less great for Shogun. Sure. Great though for Stark and Germany. Forces advancing the Guardsman in the centre. Got more mines up here. Very consistent mining by Shogun. Sure. Very good. Very good. Also, you know, it's one of those things to, you know, point out a more skilled player. They're very consistent about their mining. Sturmpanier something about here. Lots of flares going off consistently. Troops reinforcing. Should probably heating up as well. We'll see if he goes to the Puma or if he's going to try and tag up. We also got an MD-35 here for Stark to help deal with Shogun's Cho infantry. Victory points wise, noting a big lead here for Stark. Heading the car point again, but this time again the mines are having a bit more of an impact here. And there you go, machine gun hits a mine again. Beautiful mining there by Shogun Cho. Beautiful mining. If there was such a thing. Troops right here, so the Sturmpaniers and looks at the flank. Very nice work there by Stark. Shogun Cho that he wisely neatly falls back in the face of that machine here, though still sets out there. Bit risky there to an extent, I think, by Stark. I can't see the logic in it. But again, it does mean if his opponent falls off, some not sort of surprise. See, oh, there we go, he retreats in the end. Folks going to hit another mine. Almost swapped out, in fact, and don't think Stark has paid attention to this. He's also bringing up another MD-34. Probably due to the increase in Guardsmen. Again, he's got overall total of 5 infantry squads. So now the machine gun to sort of help contain all of this infantry is a really good idea. Plus the more expensive guard squads are going to feel a bit uncomfortable getting suppressed here for Shogun Cho. Noting he's also bringing up heavy mortar. He's of course now beginning to figure, hang on, machine guns are happening. But as you know, heavy mortar is just reasonably nice if you remember to use the barrage ability. Bit of skirmishing here, fighting to the centre. We got forces moving up here. Another flare off. Church occupied with the Guardsmen. DP light machine guns not at the ready. Looks moving up. Forces hammering away at the Guardsmen, plastering them with heavy autocannon fire. Forces there being attacked by peons were popping off. A static charge. Stark retreats. Tombstones and tank wreckage obliterated. Still, Stark remains in good control on the map. He also, of course, still has a notable victory point leader with Shogun Cho. And we got no sign of take yet here for Stark and the German army. Though, notably, we don't have that for Shogun Cho either, and he really should be taken up soon, either planning for T-70s, but at this timing, I think he's more likely to end up with the T-34-76s or T-35s. And trying to push up T-35s here would be really good, since if Stark then, you know, just automatically goes for a Panzer IV. Shogun Cho's going to have the upper hand thanks to the T-35 just generally being better than Panzer IVs. So he's going to do some work there. Mine goes off, killing Guardsmen. That's good. Looks in need of repairs, and Stark still in need of attack. And there you go, Shogun Cho taking up. That'll be the tank battalion command. Again, at this stage, I'd likely anticipate a mechanized armor company afterwards, then push for the medium armor. He could go for the T-79, but it'd be a bit silly, and Stark is going for the Goliath. Heading eastwards to go for the victory point there. He could also try and launch a massive infantry assault here, but he could also just take the path of least resistance, you know, try and hit Shogun Cho in the east where he's got absolutely nothing, and that's, honestly, I would say the right decision to make in a lot of cases, unless he's got some kind of bigger plan that requires him to absolutely have this. New multi-seating points here. Plus, I mean, in the sense of that guard squad is doing nothing in there except theoretically guard it. I mean, Stark has the possibility to apply heavier pressure elsewhere and maybe, you know, punish Shogun Cho for leaving a, you know, valuable guard squad inside the Bloody Church. But there you go, he's launching. He's going to invalidate Shogun Cho's decision to put a guard squad in here, not only in from the north of the northern end of the cemetery to attack into the foot's going to DC. Brandhand Granada being launched into the church to flush out the Russians. Note he's popping at the exit, so if he heads out there, he's still going to take some damage from it as he pops out there, so basically trying to grease the wheels just a bit more here. Jaeger's all around, but the penalty was there for Shogun shot. Gas moving to the centre here. Heavy machine gun fire here. The machine a bit exposed here, a bit exposed. Lots of Guardsmen could clear it up, but there you go, folks. It's moving up the flank with the looks as well. Nice tactical flank here by Stark. Very nice. Taking advantage of Shogun Shoot, committing too heavily into the centre of the cemetery to then move up behind it and threaten to get in some wipes there. Nice play by Stark, punishing Shogun Shoot here for a greedy tactical play. Very nicely done. The South here, folks, being versus penal troops. Could see a south charge here, which could get a wipe here if Stark isn't paying attention, but he was. Ray Mortar there firing away, needs to get the one out of there fast. Looks bringing up there with his auto cannon. Fult's going to do this once more, heading the calf point. Stay on the track here from Stark, no tech up. And there you go. Heavy Mortar crew is taking heavy damage, being cut to ribbons. There we go. Track for Stark, track for Germany. Mine's being laid down by Stark as well. Very good, sehr good. First Panzer Division carries on. Another track. Oh, the track's almost done there. I was about to another track and finish that sentence. Heavy Mortar there is barely survived, but is now getting healed and reinforced. Very good there for Stark. Looks close to Veteran 2. We got 309 and 462. Stark remains in a strong lead. Schwer Panzer quarters goes out around to cover the car front of the fuel point. Fighting for the west point here with the machine gun, routing Shogun Cho's lonely engineers. And there you go. Sturmpanzer's heading about. They're ready to shoot anyone trying to pass through here or here. And it looks basically providing sort of the longer range firepower. Oh, he's committed the heavy mortar without being fully enforced there. Might be Shogun Cho starting to feel a bit pressured here by Stark more than he already is, and is perhaps making a few hasty decisions. And Schwer Panzer cuts up here for Stark and the first Panzer Division covering the fuel point and the calf point, making it much harder for Shogun Cho to actually harass Stark and giving Stark in that sense some fuel security. But Shogun Cho does have the mechanized armor company up, and he can soon go for the T-35, and that's going to be a problem there for Stark, which is going to require either Panthers or Jagdpanzers. Since the Panzer IV generally tends not to fare well. Since the T-35 has reasonably good penetration in this gun, good rate of fire, more important is more health, so the Panzer IV having, in theory, otherwise the arm advantage, doesn't have so much, then which point it boils down to has more health in most cases, plus in this case also marked vehicle, in which case the T-35 tends to flat out win. Plus you can actually, the T-35 is cheaper than the Panzer IV with the Orbit Commando S, so also as the fight goes on, your opponent can churn out T-35s faster and get out Panzer IVs, so there's a lot of elements there which makes it a bit more dangerous to try and rely on such strategies. Goliath creeping up there, he's hoping to catch you and try and quickly turn around the corner here and then blast it to bits. Start floating a lot of manpower, could consider some Obersoldaten. T-35 almost done there for Shogun Cho. But again, there's the T-35, you either want the Panther, which is more range, armor, and penetration, plus a good deal of health, which makes it much more suited for taking on the T-35. Or he wants to go for the Jagdpanzer, which doesn't quite have the health or the armor. That actually has decent armor, but more important, has range and a good rate of fire. And he can sort of that way deal with the T-35 more safely, as long as Stark keeps the flanks safe. There you go, T-35 out here for Shogun Cho. Machine gun opening the gas from there, T-35 moving up, engaging Volkskammerdienst with its 85mm gun. Adapted from a Soviet anti-aircraft gun with 85mm caliber, obviously. Ooh. MG34 goes down here to Shogun Cho. It's going to steal it. Very nice there, but Shogun Cho start there in a bad position. He's going for the Panzer IV though, and he's seeing the T-35. He's not cancelling this. I do feel like this is a bit of a poor choice. By start, I mean, he can probably still make it work, but it's not exactly the most favoured of armoured fighting vehicles. It was the T-35 again. It's very much the sort of situation where the T-35 has a big advantage here. Oh! Catches here, down to less than half health. They can't really follow up and actually finish it off here, so a bit unfortunate there for Stark, but there you go. Panzer IV, Model G out there for Stark, and the 1st Panzer Division. More mines. Lots of mines there. Very good. Ship ceiling reinforcing. T-45 is going to need some repairs. Shogun has got Stark here a bit on the defensive at the moment. Also, one I can say, a big thanks to Roger for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. A big thanks to you, Roger. You're part of my company here, and of course a big thanks to all those who have donated or are, of course, pledging on Patreon. You're all wonderful people, and of course part of my company here as well. Fulton is being up here for the send down to fire from the Guardsmen. Running a nice carrying fire there with a DP light machine to get end-mounting infantry. But in this case, the Stark is launching too much infantry for the Guards Corps to really hold off against this. Very safe and is forced to retreat from it, as there's nothing to really hold them up here. Panther 4 looks Shogun planning his eggsman up the flank here, threatening the Guardsmen. Nice flank there by Stark, by the way. Really good flank. Also, a much better spot to attack with the tank from there. Some would just attack for the centre. Guardsmen, Pims are there being routed by the Panther 4. Luke's combo backed up all the infantry machine over here, advancing focus on this, but there is the problem here for Stark. There's the T-45, though in this case, that gets lucky shot bounces, though of course T-45 still has a bunch more health. Oh, another miss or bounce here. That's really lucky for Stark. Kevin for joining in as well. He's going to have to fall back with the T-45. Mine goes off from the looks, could see it taken out here. Panther moves ahead. Then again, without needing to be able to move in troops to deal with it, because the Panther 4 and other units are keeping pressure there. Oh, he's going to try and get the T-45 round. He's going the other way around. Good move. Panther 4 is being held down with the Guardsmen, hitting the dirt machine, forced to fall out. Panther 4 here to intercept the T-35, but sadly didn't quite work out. The Panther 4 down to less than half from there. In this case, it does work out, partly thanks to a bit of luck, but also by Kedenheffer. He does get the T-35, though he does lose the look. Still, pretty good trade over there for Stark. Of course, there's the other side of the equation, which of course is also worth keeping in mind. Still, the T-35 is overall cheaper, so he can quickly follow up with another one, which obviously if he'd lost the Panther 4 he would not. And he certainly can't replace the looks now, so... While not an entirely favourable engagement in terms of the bigger picture, it's still not a complete disaster for Shogun, sure. Since again, T-35s are notably more replaceable. Seems like he's not quite filling through the information. There's a spare planted course there, but if I attack it from the north, surely it will not be there. Sorry, Shogun Chub, this is not an MC Escher painting. But there you go, you can go for the second T-35 now. But obviously Stark will stick to the Panther 4s again. 1-on-1 can work out with a bit of luck as you saw. Then of course like Kedenheffers, but once the numbers begin to grow, things do not look favourable for the Panther 4s. At least in my experience. And he really should bring up either Yak Panzer or Panther to back up the Panther 4. I mean, the Yak Panzer would obviously be the cheaper choice compared with the Panzer 4. Or the Panther, but you know. Another MD-34 out. Aimwalks there, of course, trying to take out Shogun Chus. Stark straight up onto the quarters there, my apologies. Bit of a brain fart there, and we got the second T-35 on the way there for Shogun Chus and the 5th Guards Tank Corps. Folks Grenadiers with Jaeger support them against the Pims for the Western Victory Point, noting 409 as a 249. Stark continues to enjoy a fat lead, and noting no pin-em-up machine for the Panther 4. That's a bit of a shame there, a bit of an oversight, I'd argue. Also, again, Stark here taking advantage of the heavy focus in the centre, now the west, to actually hit the southeast and the victory points and resources there. Nice play by Stark. Nice play. Even though we disagree on the Panther 4 here, he's still carrying on, I think I'd say, very nice tactically, which is still really nice to see. T-45 out here for Shogun Chus. Second one there. And the tank drives up here for Shogun Chus. To deal with all the fascist panzers. Guardsmen, Pilgrims engaging the Fultoners, hammering them with a fusillade of lead. The Fultoners cannot withstand with no cover about. Second T-35 coming in here, blasting through Stark's western positions, which is so far just infantry without any serious anti-tank weapons, which of course means the T-35 is going to have a very easy time. And even took out that shed just because. Panther 4 getting hammered by the Guardsmen. T-45 moving eastwards. Eastwards, heading westwards with the engineers with our minesweepers in hand. Focusing on the fire from the T-45. Again, guns blasting away, and the main gun, of course, hammering off round after round. Stark can now go for another Panzer IV, though again, I'd recommend the Yak Panzer the Panther here to, increase his chances of odds of just beating the T-45 safely and fast. So he can that way move the Panzer Volunteers blasting the infantry into dirt. We'll have to see. The heavy mortar continues to be a bit of an obstacle there for Stark. Requires much more speed during his advances, otherwise the heavy mortar will just simply hone in on the target and annihilate them. Fight for the victory point there, still. Stark not far off from being able to call the Panther. He goes for another Panzer IV here. He goes for another Panzer IV. T-45 trying to wipe the retreating Fultz Grenadiers. Panzer IV hanging back here. Almost got them. Can Shogun finish off the job here? Or, oh, he gets away, I think. Very close though, but still get away. Seizing the western points, more like kidding efforts in theory. That way, back up the Panzer IVs, and that way make up for the fact that the T-35s are better than the Panzer IV one-on-one. So we'll have to see how that one works out. Heavy mortar fire though continues to rain down Betsy 2. Back here hitting reinforcement. T-45 moving towards the centre, and we got troops moving up the eastern side. Machine gun being to rake the church with fire in the western engineers routing. We got the second Panzer here for Stark and the first Panzer Shogun, giving him then a very small Panzergruppe. Flares going off in the east there as Shogun chose keen on taking what was his. 367 to 241. Starks and of course with Jaws and Steel. Like Kevin getting hammered. But the T-45 are trying to attack head on through a densely defended area is quickly forced away there. As it really should not have been attacking through that without a sufficient infantry support and maybe a smoke screen. Garson close being taken out with the Panzer IV. This was definitely tactically very unsound by Shogun, sure. Could even see the guard squad there being wiped out, which could be a big win here for Stark. There we go. But Shogun can now begin bringing another T-35. He could of course go for the H-5 here. To of course further increase his chances the Panzer IV and anything else Stark here might get. But he could also just go for another T-35. And tank rifle against the Panzer IV with Mark vehicle on there. Still no T-35 number 2 on the way here for Shogun Cho. Bit of skirmishing here. Gas no well by Fultz Grenadiers are more important than the Panzer IV. Veteran 2, that's definitely bad news for them. Still no additional armor there for Shogun Cho, still flooding resources. Come on, Cho, get out those tanks. Destroy the fascists. Okay, we got tech now here. Supporting company probably wants field guns out, but he could still go for another T-35 first. Another truck for Stark. That's going to be the Battle Group headquarters to help with healing. Enforcement might also be setting up here for the King Tiger. The Tiger 2. The Königstiger. Still nothing happening there for Shogun Shop. Goes instead for the field gun first. Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper number 3 here moving out for Stark. Fighting over the eastern field point again as Stark continued to, I think, display good harassment here versus Shogun Shop. Brandhand Grenade off. Renders the cover. Not very good. Shogun Cho's position is a bit awkward versus Stark, who certainly remains very potent, very strong, very formidable. T-45 there could do with some engineer support, but engineers are in the east. Stark hanging back here. Basically giving Shogun Cho time to recover, as you could consider like that. Well, at least he's just taking it very casually all of a sudden. But, I mean, it is very much giving Shogun Cho more time to come up with plans, try and figure out some plan for dealing with Stark. Of course, you could still end up squandering that. I mean, just because you have a lot of time to figure out something doesn't mean you necessarily will. But it could very well give Shogun the time to come up with a new plan, then push Stark back. So it is not without risk. Stark, even though he's got a good position, to just sit and do nothing. Field gun ready. Shogun can still again go for another T-45 to that way try and take on the Panzer IV with superior numbers. Rather than giving the Germans number superiority here, which is generally not what you'll want to be doing. T-45 moving out there, Panzer IV falling back in the face of the troops, but they actually quick to retreat, interestingly enough. There you go, second Panzer IV though, might be the explanation. The mine goes off, damaging the engine of Shogun's T-3045 once he just repaired it. Suckabliat. There we go, Shogun bringing up another tank. Could have gone for the H-85 here, but with the field guns out, it does seem like T-3045s are more likely to be pulled out here. Medics on the way there for Stark. Panzer IV being fixed up. 883 versus 356. 882. T-35 number 2 is almost done here for Shogun. Fun fact about the T-35, the Germans actually refer to it as the T-43. At least if you sort of look at a lot of sources, they just refer to it as the T-43, interestingly enough. Because that's roughly where, it appears on the front line for them, and that's kind of then what they assumed the name was, containing the other tank name, T-34. So a little fun note there. Panther went in the gap, Peels were there pushing them back, nice work. Flay off in the centre. So now Shogun, of course, he has a formidable armoured fist here with double T-35s, able to lay down a lot of fire as infantry and armour, and of course they can soak up a lot of fire, which is really one of the T-35's main advantages as medium tank in company is too. It can soak up more fire than most other mediums. The only one that can soak up more is the Panther, and that one is a lot more expensive, and particularly the Valor is also a lot harder to get. Now we've got Take Assault in for Stark to try and break his Shogun choice, calling it in maybe. Could it be the final blow? No, doesn't look like he seems to be holding back. He's not committing to a full-on assault. He's just sort of duking it out here. Field gun about to get wiped up pretty bad here for Shogun. How he delayed his tank to get it. Oh, Fulton's almost wiped up with the T-35s. While noting he's still hanging about despite the German Air Force raking the area with heavy firepower. Shogun is not yet retreating. There you go. Peels from tank over trying to take advantage of the focus in the T-35s to pop off the satchel charges, and he gets it off. He gets it off, and eventually 2 Panzer IV. Oh, Scheiße! Panzer IV though lives. It lives, ladies and gentlemen. It is not down. That is really lucky there for Stark. He was about to run over the gut and hit the jet, but there you go. Hits him on instead. Benson to 1. T-35s that are too damaged, I think, to pursue. He could go for it. He looks like he's about to go for it, but he could risk losing it like he lost the T-35. 85 going for the looks, but there you go. Going for it, and Benson to 1. Gain Panzer IV to go down. That does mean Stark will then be short 1 tank. So, main gun out. Oh, he's going to ram it. He's going to ram it. And he gets it. I'm not entirely sure I'd say that was worth it, but the bastard's down.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Now the Panzer IV there, halfway to actually free, getting repaired here by Stark's repair pioneers. Now the Panzer IV to replace the one lost. Shogun will likely go for another T-3045 to replace the one he lost. Of course, it was his most veteran tank. Comparative for Stark, it was his least veteran tank he lost there. But there you go, another T-34 85 for Shogun for the Red Army. Pushing the Western machine gun right in the face of Shogun fresh infantry assault. He's down to 50 points though. versus Stark's 356. He needs to put some pressure on those victory points, damn it. He's been focusing too much on trying to reclaim the cemetery, and instead might have almost buried his own chances of winning that because he keeps pouring everything into the center of the map. Again, it is worth keeping in mind not to get too focused on the center point of the victory map. Then again, it does happen for some players a lot. And seems to be what happened here for Shogun. Case of tunnel vision. Again, Stark has been to be a good tactician in terms of flanking maneuver. T-45, their Panzerfaust is heavily focused on with one. There you go, got one squad there. Very good here though, very good. Machine being pushed back by the insane armor piercing rounds of the other MG-34. Heavy mortar firing down in the field gun. Stark stole from him. Oh, he needs to get the T-35 out of there. It might be too late though. Guardsman butting down the Panzer IV, other one on the way. I hope. Mine goes off there, field gun wiped out. Panzer IV there could pursue. He's gonna go for it, he's gonna go for it, he's gonna blitz, shoots, hits the bloody wall. T-45 hits back, Owen moves in. Oh, scheisse. Main gun out, and all of a sudden the tables and turned here on Stark. He's got another Panzer IV moving in, but now the situation actually is not good. And there you go, Panzer IV down. Now Shogun chose the one with the advantage over Stark. Because the Panzer IV is definitely when they're outnumbered, do not stand the chance over the T-35s. Whereas again, a T-35 versus two Panzer IVs has a reasonable chance. One Panzer IV versus two T-35s is doomed. At this stage, I think Stark needs to consider bringing up Panthers and Yak Panzers, because Panzer IVs at this stage, unless Shogun does something miraculously dumb or Stark does something miraculously brilliant, I think is not going to be the best situation here. But there you go, work on the Panzer IV happening. Destroying like Kedmon is attempting to, so far seems to be blowing apart everything but it. There we go, finally got it. Jaeger's occupying the church here to flank Shogun's positions in the cemetery. Another Kedmon for Stark to replace the one lost. 300, in fact 298 points left versus Shogun chose 27. But Stark took some severe casualties during that fight. He lost most of his armor, he's lost a bunch of infantry as well. And like Kedmon. Shogun in fact now has the largest force and overall seems to be staging a comeback here at the 11th hour. Down close. Shot bounced off the Panzer IV's frontal armor. T-45 going up again to try and get off a hit. This shoots, misses. Other T-35 on the move, and of course it's close to 52, meaning he gets a higher rate of fire. Which is definitely further bad news for any Panzer force. Shogun here going for a flank on the west side, very good. Also, I think to try and protect the western victory point. Going for the T-34-76. An interesting choice, but like to indicate Shogun just now wants more tanks out in the field. He's already got the armored advantage, just further supplementing it with just cheaper tanks, so that way, just getting more raw volume is not a bad idea. In particular versus the infantry, the T-34-76 is going to be absolutely good enough. In fact, it's going to be amazing. So I can understand the logic there for Shogun. And of course, when you're dealing with Panzer IVs, adding in a single T-34 from 6 when you've got plenty of T-35s is not going to be a big issue. Almost got to wipe that with a heavy mortar power, which is ace level, 18 kills. Shogun showing how it's done very nicely. T-34-76 about to go down there for Shogun, and there we go. Mobilized for the enemy. Firing on the western point, we got the machine moving up, then ace machine crew as well here for Shogun. Another Panzer IV though. Honestly, at this stage, that actually seems really strange. I mean, he knows he's behind. He knows he's up against T-34 E5s, yet Stark seems very much heavily committed to Panzer IVs. And this is sort of the situation that we really should want Yak Panzers or Panthers. Like, he needs something that has a bit more of an edge against the T-34 85s. Because the Panzer IVs, when they're outnumbered, in this stage, particularly some of the more wretched T-35s, is not going to cut it, I think. I mean, Stark could surprise me. He's done that before, but conventional wisdom from me, but at least dictate this is a really bad idea. And there you go. Single Panzer one not being overwhelmed with the T-35s, and 76 John in, of course, basically relying on raw numbers. The Kedmon cleared out fast. Panzer force escaping to the base. Second one ready, but I was just going to lay down enough firepower here. T-34 6 engaged with the Panther 4. Need to get out of there fast. In fact, it could end up being too late here now for Shogun with the T-34 76. 85 still dealing with a kid in the effort. Almost got it. Folks, they're gunned down by the whole machine guns of the T-34s and forced to retreat. So there we go. 2 Panther 4s versus 3 T-34s. What, 285s and 176 it is. Back here, healing enforcement. Shogun could actually soon go for another 76, which would give him 4 tanks versus Stark's 2 Panther 4s. He's also down 219 versus Shogun 27. Things are quickly ebbing out here for Stark. He needs to pull off, I think, some good flanks here versus Shogun. He needs to hit the eastern side and one. I think he needs to try and launch into some big assault. But more importantly, he needs something that can seriously threaten the T-35s. And the Panther 4s, I just feel like, are not going to cut it. Machine gun opening up there. Closing in on the veterans you want. Grenade off and down. Also note here, nice attempt to flank out with machine gun. Can hear from a route most players don't actually ever use. Nice display there of understanding of the map, and then hit him with a grenade. Very nice work there. Very nice work. 2 thumbs up. There's a start. Of course, the machine can still deal with it. Veteran 3, it is reasonably rapid. It does deal with sort of threats like that. Needs to retreat here. Almost got the MD-34 there with the incendiary grenade. That'd be quite helpful there for Stark, but in this case though, Shogun retreats in time. He probably should have just popped it up and then fallen back and then maybe sort of waited a bit. Still, again, a nice use of this sort of path. I mean, a lot of players just tend not to think of these sort of, shall we say, smaller exterior paths on the map that sort of some maps have, but they can be really good for flanking. You don't quite have the same, but there's a bit of the same though, a bit of the same. And there we go, another T-34 76 for Shogun Chomin. He's going to have 4 T-34s versus Stark's 2 Panther 4s. And Stark's 2 Panther 4s will simply be outgunned. He really is going to need a Yak Panther, a Panther. And with the way the resource situation, the victory point situation is looking, he might have to go for the Yak Panther. Shogun shows T-34s are on the roaming, patrolling side of things. Shogun Pioneer is routed by the T-34s. 1 there gaining 8 veterans 2. Basically meaning a higher rate of fire, which is generally bad news for anything caught by it. And he's using the T-34-85 to seize the victory point. An interesting choice there by Shogun Cho. Oh, this is only bad. He's rare to see a player actually use their abilities. So thumbs up to Shogun there. Or Cho. Jaegers is spotted by the T-34s. Forced into the house. We've got the Panther 4 nearby. There he goes. He's still up against 2 T-34s. Quickly doing a lot of damage to the Panther 4. Down to less than half health. Almost got it. In fact, Veteran 2 gain on that one as well. That is 2 Veteran 2 T-34-85 for Shogun Cho. That's really bad for Star. That is excessively bad. And there's 2 medium tanks with a good rate of fire now versus 2 Panther 4s, which are already outnumbered. So again, he's going to eat the Yak Panther, he's going to eat the Panther. He's going to need to grab those victory points soon. But again, the sheer armoured force of Shogun Cho makes it much easier for him to contain Stark here and, keep him off the victory points. T-35 attacking here from the flank. Others moving from the other side. There you go. Machine guns about wiped. Of course, the other one going down this one to the T-34. The machine guns just crashing the machine guns. And there you go. Stark in a matter of seconds just lost both of his machine gun crews here to Shogun Cho. Now launching a full-on armored assault here with the T-34s. The armored fist of Stalin strikes at the less than armored face of Stark. And it hurts. He's calling in another sector assault here to try and contain the armoured avalanche that Shogun Cho has just unleashed against Stark. Shogun Pioneer is being crashed as the T-34-76 tries to get out of there. T-34 to back up. T-34-76 with the main gun out. Knocked out here. Got a 1 tank, but the losses for Stark have nonetheless been absolutely catastrophic. He's down to just a bit of infantry and 2 heavily damaged tanks. Victory points wise is down to 110 and the points keep ticking. He's going for another Panzer IV! Oh my. Seems like his start is kind of like a record that's sort of kind of stuck in a particular power vinyl record. He just keeps repeating it.
The enemy has 100 points remaining.
This is really great for Shogun though. I mean, more Panzer Force, which his T-35s can deal with, is great for him. He's already got 1/2 of Infantry, at which point it's going to absolutely demolish those Panzer Force.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
27 versus 85. Jaegers, they're being obliterated here by the T-35. Panzer moving up, shoots, penetrates, Fox moving up on the flank, but we got the T-34 from 16 to back it up. There you go. Veterans 1 game, the T-34 from 6. Penal troops moving up. 74 points left here for Stark versus Shogun 27. Panzer 4, the repulsed by the T-34s. Their assault continues. There you go, down to half health. Veteran 2, great. More accuracy, which is great versus the infantry. It's just not quite useful versus the tanks, in particular the ones with a higher rate of fire already. Other Panzer 4 moving up here, close to Veteran 3. That's going to be great there for Stark, since of course that means it gets a higher rate of fire. Sharp fire there, penetrate the T-35. Got penal troops, T-34s firing at the Panzer Force here. Grabbing the victory point, we're down to 61 versus 27 here. T-34 moving up here, folks, being obliterated by the T-35. Gartman pushing them back here. Absolutely intense stuff here between Stark and Shogun. But if you sort of look at which of the tanks are coming better through it, it's the Soviet tanks. The Panzer Force just can't quite match it in terms of firepower. When it comes down to sort of larger armoured engagements, a lot of the time I feel like it does tend to an extent boil down to either having a huge armoured advantage, which the Panzer Force do not have, or the firepower advantage, at which point that's what the T-34s have. So Starkey is not exactly finding a favourite engagement, and he's not really doing anything to make it more favoured him by either bringing up the Jagdpanzers or the Panthers. 34 versus 27, he still has a chance. I mean, he still has 3 Panzer Forces, still has a bunch of infantry, but the odds are not looking good for Stark. The odds are not looking good. Panzer 4, they're making any engineers, that's good. Machine gun there, ace level, 12 kills. Other Panzer moving up. There you go, mine goes off on the Jaegers. T-34 flanking, close to Veteran 3 and the ace level there. Continuing on people to deal with an infantry and bike. Got the point running neutrally. 17 versus 27 here. Stark is desperately trying to push through the centre there, where it's going to be roughest to make any sort of head-on assault, obviously. He's not even trying to flank here, it's just raw brute force here versus Cho. A desperate assault here by Stark, and he's just not quite making. We've got pins from not moving in to basically block any further progress with their anti-tank rods, and more importantly, their anti-tank satchels. At which point Stark has to break off this assault, at which point this is a GG. He's sneaking up here on the right side, but it's too late now for Stark. It is too late. He committed his final push here in the wrong place, and Shogun was able to stall him and beat him. So there you go. Brutal fight here on Lost Glider, highlighting just how good the T-35s are, in particular if the opponent just goes for Panzer IVs, and certainly highlights that while the Oberkommando Panzer IVs are good in a lot of situations, versus T-35s, you kind of need something with a bit more punch. Again, other Jagdpanzers are Panthers. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers. Thank you for watching. You all have a wonderful audience. Hope to see you tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.